All right. Well, the gaming industry is not having a good time. Well, I see. Here's the thing: is that I consider there's two sides to the gaming industry now. Well, there's many different sides, but in my opinion, there's two sides for me personally. There's the awesome side of gaming that I encroach in all the time. Total War Warhammer, Gmod, physics. Playing around in new, different, cool sim games, building little towns in obscure little, RTS games and living adventures that I want to experience. And then there's the stupid side of gaming. This is your Veilguards. This is your Assassin's Creed Shadows. This is your fucking woke developers of Halo Studios putting up rainbow flags everywhere. So there's for me, I get enjoyment from many aspects of gaming. The awesome games I play and love, and the stupidity of this massive global industry with millions, billions and billions and billions of dollars. So it's really funny. So let's look at some of the hilarious sides to stupidity in gaming nowadays. Now, you will remember that I literally had it out from Assassin's Creed Shadows from the beginning. I think that was just a complete middle finger to every single gamer that has ever lived, like me myself, who likes cool games. And sure enough, what did they decide to do? They just made it terrible. They had to put Yasuke in there. They had to force feed us this wokeness on a level we had never experienced before. And I mean, just look at Ubisoft's stock. And weren't they sold half of their company off to Tencent or something? Look at this. It's trading on that. And if we go up even what in the hell, Ubisoft? It went from nothing to even less somehow. And that's the true matter, is that if you're an investor and you've looked at the last 5 years of Ubisoft, you got to be pretty damn nervous at this company making terrible games. Skull and Bones had wokeness in it, I'm sure of it. But that wasn't the reason the game was inherently terrible. It was just a bad video game. So when you take two aspects like wokeness that makes gaming terrible and people who just make terrible games in general, and you combine them together, you get a company like Ubisoft, which is so heartbreaking because games like Black Flag and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I love with a passion, some of the games Ubisoft has produced over the years. And clearly there are different people at charge in different departments nowadays because it's just how low can they go? And you don't have to be an expert, even though the Shills will proclaim that they know everything about stock trading. This is actually somehow a good thing. You could take a 5-year-old and show them this graph and tell them that, something went very wrong along the way. So Ubisoft is hilarious. Assassin's Creed, look at the AI overview of this. Assassin's Creed Shadows is considered a flop due to a combination of poor sales, low player counts compared to older titles, and significant financial losses from Ubisoft. They were no company or no shill media, no way all these people were ever going to admit a game that central controversy is a completely, utterly ridiculous race swap. They're never going to proclaim that. Sorry, my headphones have just started charging. No company was going to proclaim that was the reason it failed. And there are probably many aspects to Assassin's Creed Shadows failing. Just some of the voice acting I've seen, it was terrible, which is hilarious considering the fact that Assassin's Creed games have had some really, really good dialogue. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I loved, had some great dialogue in it, and Odyssey. So, but the central controversy over Shadows is that this is awkward. She's just a complete, she doesn't even look Japanese. She just, I've said this before, she looks like a California art student, not a Japanese, assassin ninja lady. But, outside of that point, they just had to do the Yasuke thing, which is just for me and probably millions of other gamers, millions and millions and millions of other gamers, this is just awkward. This is just, you know, to make representation a thing, you have to put in things that belong, people who make sense, something that's great, something that is neat, it's kind of a cool idea. There's so many things that they could have done differently with this, and they said nope. Woke. This is like the poster child of wokeness. Is taking a game that people had looked forward to for a long time and just saying, nope, we're just gonna put a black character in and deal with it. Now, speaking of shitty ass decisions and making video games, Ghost of Yōtei is also there. You know, these fucking woke toys, man, they make you lose your fucking mind. they're so stupid the way that they control the industry the way they do. Because Ghost of Yōtei, I'm sure, is an okay game. And that's probably what it just is okay. They literally took the Ghost of Tsushima.exe engine and just put in a chick. make it lame and gay. And at the end, she's like a lesbian at the end. So I mean, you know what they were going. This is prime catering to lesbian furry community. Erika Ishii, look at me, I'm now a star. So I mean, it's incredible, and the cope we've seen with Yotei has been retarded. Because these shills, they'll never admit defeat. But initial sales for Ghost of Yōtei are reportedly comparable with Tsushima. But what we just got today was, I mean, obvious. Ghost of Yōtei sales fall short of Tsushima per leak. Disappointment for a sequel. Duh. Oh, I wonder why that happened. They could be with we wanted. See, this is what their plan was. I've said this many times. I have said that what happened with Tsushima was this. Sucker Punch started with a mission to make just a cool open world Japanese game, samurai. You know, and it was wicked, and they struck it apart. It was way more successful than they thought because kid gamers wanted this. But it was in a very low market of open world Japanese samurai games. It was the stunning success of the century. So all these executives and all this woke hive mind of at like Sony America and like all these, they somehow got approval to say, hey, look, you know that thing that all these gamers love? You know this, like, you know the Japanese samurai stuff that all these gamers love? Let's put a woke activist woman in it. And now it's all about women and women empowerment. We can do that, and everybody will love it. So the fallout around Ghost of Yōtei continues, this time in the sales front. According to leaked sales breakdown, and see, you have to rely on these leaks, because this guy, I was actually so funny when Smash JT, where was he? Who I'm a fan of because he's just a regular everyday gamer dude. He and this Colin Moriarty dude, who is just the biggest industry shill on the face of the earth, who's just like, you know, he will shill for any woke company because he just wants his PlayStation access. And he's just, and you saw him when he went on the interview, and Smash JT kind of got into it because, you know, Colin Moriarty was never going to be he was going into that to be a prick. So the video is actually quite fascinating because you have an industry shill and you have just a regular gamer dude who, you know, happens to like video games and has a channel on it. And you had these two butting heads, and that's what happens. Is that, like, I will never agree with what Colin Moriarty says because I'm an actual real gamer, and Colin Moriarty is just an industry shill dumbass. like I'm never gonna agree with what that guy says because my opinions on gaming come from the heart. His come from his, I don't know, from his dick. It's like when his dick, because that's how he, you know, gets his industry access. So anyways, this was an interesting thing, and like, I mean, there were so many of these other casuals coming in and defending Colin on the interview. You can watch it on Smash JT's thing. It's interesting to see how these shills shill for it. And when it comes out, look at the way that this fucker tries to justify this. The funniest part is, if Ghost of Yōtei is selling 16% worse than Suja, that actually means it's selling better. Oh my god. He's such a retard. And then he's like, and the installs, Ghost of Tsushima launched on 20 million PS4s. Ghost of Yōtei on 80 million PS5, 40% gas. So he's like doing the math, and he's like, well, actually the sequel, if it sells less, it's actually better. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, you retard? So yeah, Colin Moriarty, he is just a tool, and this goes to show how like the woke versus non-woke conflict with each other, is because the woke will never accept the fact that making things lame and gay is what causes games to suck, whereas the non-woke and most normal gamers are non-woke are like, dude, this is fucking stupid. Like, just make a game about a Japanese male samurai in feudal Japan. Like, why is that offensive? That I find the fact that they made Yotei about a woman and Assassin's Creed Shadows about a black dude, I find that offensive to Japanese males and Japanese culture. It shouldn't be controversial to say that shit, you know what I mean? So it's all really funny. And, it goes to show you what these industry shills will just go like, well, if you take the price of milk in 2020 and you divide it by the, the price of masks that people paid for COVID, the fact that Yotei is selling 40% less than fucking, Ghost of Tsushima, it actually works out. It's like, no, man. It's like the fucking sequel to Tsushima should have sold fucking like crazy. Everybody should be talking about it. I know what PlayStation does because they try and make the exclusives, but they should have made it for PS3. I mean, not PS3, PC. PS3. They should have made it for PS3, PS4, and PS5, and they would have sold more. It's like, no, man. Like, you have an industry like what happened with Last of Us, and you have a game where they are taking properties and they're making them worse somehow. Like, why? It's so stupid. And same thing happened with God of War. I was a massive God of War fanboy back in the early 2000s or 2010s. And like God of War 1, 2, and 3, if you put those next to each other, it's like they've changed. It's like they've totally changed Kratos and everything. And you can see that in shows too. You see that with like, Alien Earth and like Predator's Badlands. It's like they love to just take something that was cool and make it stupid. It's like that's just what they like to do. It's so weird. But it appeals to this casual fan base of people. Ghost of Yōtei fell off in Japan. This is not abnormal. Alarming in Japanese for a big release. Many big games do. So there's so much cope. And then it's like, this is where we're at in the wheel. It's like a woke game gets hyped up, overhyped. It comes out and it fails, as like the shill access media starts to cope with all these like different things. It's like we're at that stage, and then there's like layoffs at the studios, the next one, and admitting it's a failure. It just goes around and around the circle, and that's like the state of the gaming industry. And that's what it does, is that it essentially love to just prop up failures and like making excuses and it's so funny. But yeah, I mean, they love to hide these behind certain ways. Like they love to hide all these little excuses, and it's like the fact that they took a raging activist feminist and put her in a game that should have been a smash success. Like, that's the reason. It's like, there you go. It's like, there's no metrics of those. If they would have, like, if they would have just made Jin Sakai's story and it's like number 2 and now it's fucking and it's just like the badass intro and it's like, they if they would have done that, it would have fucking sold double what it would have sold by now than what Tsushima sold. So it's like they took a viral game hit and they just ruined it, and that's Ghost of Yōtei. Now, speaking of taking games and making them, this is a story with the Outer Worlds. I found the Outer Worlds very fascinating, and I made a video about it recently. It's and people took a lot of offense to this, and this is because what I do usually is I trigger the casual audience because somehow YouTube works in my videos to their viewing. And I don't know how it does that because, if you know me, I'm gonna fucking hate on every single piece of shit game woke, no matter what people think about it. Now, the Outer Worlds, I didn't imagine was entire. I mean, it's probably pretty woke, but it's the casual's most casualist game. I mean, it is just the definition of how casuals play gaming nowadays. No white character. That's god tier thumbnail there. No white characters. Outer World 2. But it is what they kind of do is they make you can just tell it just oozes that modern game slop. It's just we have No Man's Sky at home. Starfield. We have no Starfield at home. Look at that fucking state of that character. Look at the state of these. You're gonna get a point, and if these people, unless all these people get fired from the gaming industry, you're gonna get to a point where they're gonna make games, and it's just not gonna have a single white male, straight male in it. It's just like it's gonna be banned or some shit. But it is just a generic crappy, boring. You could told me from miles away that this was boring. I feel like I've seen this game before. Like it looks like Outer Worlds 1. It looks like Outer Wilds, which hilariously on another video I confused the two. But I mean, it's proof that these games do that. Is that they just make generic, generic sci-fi space world, and it's just there's no inspiration from this environment. It's so, you could have told me that this was a No Man's Sky like place, and I would have been like, yeah, it's right. Is it so like there's no ingenuity, and it's just terrible. It's not ultimately the wokeness that kills this game. That's what I'm saying is that some games, it's not inherently wokeness that destroys it. It's just a bad game. And it's made by people who don't really understand games, or maybe they want to make games a certain way that they think is good, but dear God. And if any of your characters look like that in a game, you've immediately fucked the pooch, because that neither looks like a person I'd want to talk to, or have anything interesting to say. It literally just looks like a fucking feminist put that in there, and there you go. There's your game, bro. But the devs, and I've seen this a couple times. Now, this is a weird trend in gaming. This is something I've seen. These, you got to realize this is not Xbox, Xbox UK. These are like individuals that do these kinds of things. Is that they are like community managers kind of type people, and they sit on social media and get paid for it all day to just sit around and be obnoxious. I don't know. Do they think that helps them? I doubt it. But after all the just very very warranted response from the gaming community. I mean, this game has terrible numbers on Steam. Who knows what the other consoles or whatever it was. I don't know what else is released on Xbox Game Pass or whatever. It's awful. There's no hype for this game besides just casual. And I've said this before, is that there is a central aspect of the gaming community that they're spoon fed. They'll eat up anything they put out just because it's new. These are usually people who have such terrible attention spans. They don't really love games. They just like force themselves to play it. Like, this is the newest thing. Everybody says it's great. Here you go. Or like some show media told me it was good. Let's play it. And that's where this like 20,000 sometimes, what did Veilguard get? Like 89? Maybe there were a lot of people just hate playing it just to get content out of. But I mean, Outer Worlds is doing terribly, and the response from the community at large has been just a laughing stock. So they put this out. They're like, me replaying to my haters online. It's like, it's like, yo, man, you don't do yourself any favors ever by putting out a post like this. It's just like that is not going to win you anything. And the people who are kind of like, here's the type of people. There are people like this in gaming who don't really like the wokeness, but yeah, again, they still are casual enough where they'll just buy the newest game that comes out or play it on Game Pass just because it's a game. My bro's like kind of like that. He's not overly hating of wokeness, but he's enough aware of gaming to know when a game is just shit and is not worth playing. So that if you're a person who's kind of on the fence, like, I don't know, Our Worlds, yeah, too, it doesn't look the greatest. Should I buy it? I don't know. And you come across this where they're just obnoxiously posting an annoying, stupid thing on it. You're not going to do yourself any favors. You're gonna lose those people being, oh, those guys are kind of assholes. Fuck that game. So I don't know. People think about these things in their head and don't always communicate them, but this is ridiculous. And the fact that a professional gaming media, I don't know what Xbox UK's tie to Microsoft in general, almost 1 million followers. The fact that they could put that out and be that obnoxious is so unprofessional and just a sign of how obnoxious companies and people have become nowadays. Is that they'll literally, why not just put a post out about the gameplay and be like, look at how cool the Outer Worlds' new place is. Instead, they're on the fucking Twitter posting this shit. It's ridiculous, and it doesn't help their cause or their lives at all. They're fucking retarded. They're fucking idiots. All these fuckers are idiots. The people who made Assassin's Creed Shadows are idiots. They should be fucking fired. The people who made Yotei are fucking idiots, and they should be all fucking fired. It's like, these people are fucking idiots, and they should be fucking fired. It doesn't make you at all accomplished about this type of thing. It really becomes a wonder how we've reached this level of retardation in the gaming industry. But like I said, there's two sides of it. I have, as a seasoned gamer who's been into games since fucking Adventure Island on the NES. It's the very first one, probably before I could even walk, I was playing video games. For me, my intelligence over video games is that I know there are sides of the gaming industry I'm going to hate. I'm not going to play fucking Assassin's Creed Shadow and be lectured on why, a black samurai should exist in our modern world. I'm not going to. I'm going to play a game like, fucking Total War Warhammer. This is just, I could play every day. It's just so cool. I love every aspect of it. I'm going to play a game like Yasuke Simulator. This is neat and hilarious and kind of interesting. And just play that for a couple hours, whatever. I'm the type of gamer who I'm only limited by my own imagination. I don't follow the crowd. I'm not with the sheep herding in to play Outer Worlds 2 that looks like an absolutely boring ass space fucking shit. I'll go play No Man's Sky instead, which I know is fucking incredible. I don't care what these idiots have to say. You know what I mean? So it's the state of the industry that they are losing money, but there's so much money. It's like if you had a big pit full of money. It's just gigantic pit of money. Just think of like, what is he, Scrooge McDuck, and occasionally someone just like threw a fucking torch into it and it burned a little bit, but there's still so much of it. That's what happens with the gaming industry, and like that hole that burnt of all the money burnt just piles back in out of nowhere. Like that's what happens with the gaming industry. They can afford to make all these fuck ups because video games are so incredibly lucrative and massive and profitable that yeah, maybe Assassin's Creed Shadows didn't make them millions, but was it enough to pay the rent on the fucking facility and pay the salaries of all the employees, and did they have enough afterward? There are certainly games like, imagine like Concord, that just like lost them tons of money. Investors were losing money. So many employees laid off, people brought into boardrooms and yelled at. That does happen. It's like that definitely does happen. But then again, these people, they just don't get it. They just don't get video games, man. I could make a better game than these morons in my sleep. But would I be allowed to? Probably not, because I walk in there first and be like, get rid of the fucking LGBT flag, and like, no stupid ugly woman, get rid of her. It's like they would be like, you're fucking evil, yahtzee, yahtzee, yahtzee. So I mean, these people, man, we're seeing the state of the industry that is, there's still going to be great games. We're still going to see amazing games. It's like anything in life. You have to take the good with the bad. And nothing can ever be fully 100% good in life. There's always going to be some bad with the good. Yeah, I mean, it's like relationships with women. I mean, there are good parts and there are bad parts. It's like, that's the way it is. Like anything. Food, if you eat a shitload of Taco Bell, it's delicious going in and it's not so good at feeling after. So it's like gaming is hilarious because we're all so passionate about it, but yeah, like with anything, you gotta take the fucking Yasuke's with the Jinsakais, because yeah, I don't I think that some of this stuff is starting to falter a bit, because a lot of new releases this year, Silk Song and Claire Obscure and all these big main release. There wasn't the hugest amount of popular games nowadays. They're just utter woke. Battlefield 6. I mean, look at Battlefield 6. Battlefield 6's whole thing was, it's just gonna be a hell yeah, dude, bro, fucking military shooter thing, and it sold like hotcakes. You cannot tell me that an investor isn't sitting back and saying, sir, we have a decision to make. We can either make a Battlefield 6 and make millions of dollars, or make a Ghost of Yōtei where they lost a whole bunch of money and had to fucking lay off a shitload of people. What should we do? It's like, make the Battlefield 6 with no wokeness in it. So I don't know. It's the state of the industry. Colin Moriarty and shills like him, their days are definitely piling up on them, because eventually it's going to come a time when you become public enemy number one, when you shill for these people. So all these, my opinions, I don't give a fuck what people think about me. But I mean, some of these people, some of these industry shills have got to be thinking, ringing in their head, saying, looks like the wokeness is the losing side. Maybe we should, start talking better about they're clearly, the walls are caving in on all the woke shills out there. It's and then on society as a whole, we've got like the Trump era, and these people are not doing their careers any favors at one point. But then again, there are studios and there are companies that are still just major woke tards. And if you walk in, if I'm a professional gamer who has been into games forever, white straight male, with right-leaning opinions, and I walk in the front door, and then another guy walks in, and he's non-binary with purple hair and fucking, goes by he/him pronouns. There are places in our society still, and probably for some time, that would be like, we don't care how good this one guy is. Give the woke tard a job. So, we have to look out for it. We have to call it out, but it just continues to be the butt of a joke, and that's probably what it's gonna probably what has accounted to. And when we have people like Asmongold, who are like the most famous fucking streamer on the face of the earth, who's like exactly like me, like thinks exactly the way I do, you have you have this fucking you have this mythos growing. Our numbers grow every day. You've got like a Demion and stuff. All these streamers, all these people are becoming popular, and it's very clear that our side is definitely not gonna lose. So yeah, that's my video. Peace out. The gaming industry, fucking hilarious as always.